What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Steelers Rewind here on PennLive.com. Nick Farabaugh here with you. The Pittsburgh Steelers fall to the Buffalo Bills 28-27 in a preseason game that was a preseason game. Looked like one, played like one. Sloppy to the max, folks. So let's talk about it. Let's start, I guess, with the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterbacks. Did not think either Will Howard nor Drew Aller were super impressive today. I thought they were pros and cons. I thought Aller threw with some good anticipation on some in-breakers. I thought you saw some solid throws, but maybe not the high-level balls we saw last week. And I don't think we saw as much poise as we saw in week one. I thought he was a little bit inaccurate, but also playing beside, some really bad surrounding cast. The O-line wasn't great for either of these guys today, but the wide receiver play for Drew Aller, really poor overall. I think Howard, had a few plays where he would want them back. I think pocket management-wise, he looked a little antsy. He looked a little frazzled at times. There were some plays where you saw the accuracy pop, and I don't think the interception, is fully on him. It's a miscommunication between he and one of the pass catchers. Who knows just who, but clearly a miscommunication on what was an audible. So we'll see where maybe we can get explanation on that. But he is now being evaluated for a head injury after getting the pace beat out of him, frankly, for most of this game. The O-line wasn't playing well. I thought Howard drifted into some pressures, ran into some pressures. He didn't help himself. I thought the internal clock was a little slow. So I don't think either of these guys played well. I do think they both had struggles because of their surrounding cast, but neither of them lifted the surrounding cast either. The 2-minute drill with Aller, there was a drop there on what was a pretty nice throw on an out route, but then you look at the last play, there's so many different things we could point to, but the quarterback play, simply put, nothing too crazy here. I'm not gonna, totally bury them, and I'm not going to say they were great, because I thought it was just, I didn't think it was anything crazy or special. When we talk about these O-linemen, I thought we saw promising stuff from Dunker and Iheanachor, but I also thought we saw struggles. Obviously, on Iheanachor's sack, he kind of just lunges, doesn't really get his hands on him, and boom, he goes around the edge and sacks Will Howard. And then the holding, that was not a hold. He recovered, he did a snatch trap, the guy fell, there was no hold, he didn't yank him down. It was a really bad holding call, in my opinion. I thought actually outside of that sack, he played decent. I thought Dunker, same thing. He had a really bad rep where Will just got absolutely smoked. But outside of that, he played well. But you don't want those bad lapses. But these two are young O-linemen. Young O-linemen are volatile. Volatility is the name of the game with them. So I thought there were promising things. I thought that they road graded in the run game. I thought that was some promising stuff today from the Steelers run game. They had some drives where they were able to move down the field. I thought the running back 3 competition was very spirited today. I thought Lou Nichols looked great. He looks quick, decisive. He runs hard. I thought Caleb Johnson had some good pass pro reps. Travis Homer showcased a little burst on the outside on one run. Eli Heidenreich looks more comfortable at running back. He didn't play through running back, and maybe he looks more comfortable each week. So some tough cuts coming to that running back room, which I think is a good room for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I am at least slightly encouraged by some of the young linemen. But they got to clean up some of the natural volatility they have and the consistency. Broderick Jones, I thought, got just woof on a few plays. We saw him just get beaten badly on a few of them. Dylan Cook played well into the third quarter. Fine to below average there as well. So definitely some things to think about on this offensive line. I thought we did see some good play from guys like Germie Bernard. The yak is just so natural. He's got such great contact balance, similar to Kaden Wetjen, who has great contact balance. But I just think, you can't see it in live tackling. But I thought he looked really good, Germie Bernard. I thought Kaden Wetjen has had a very up and down training camp and preseason, but we saw the electricity. That's why you draft Kaden Wetjen on that punt return, breaking tackles, the quickness, the vision to kind of redirect. That's why you draft a guy like that. So natural, we see that. I thought defensively there were some guys that played well. Landon Roberts continues to play out of his mind. Did not need to play in this game, but he did. He looked great. I thought it was a few rough drives for some of the young corners. I don't think Danico Slaughter played well. Dalen Everett had a few struggles on that first drive, then settled in a little bit. Carson Bruner, at linebacker, got just skated around on the one play by Frank Gore Jr. I did think we saw some of the young D linemen show out. I thought Kevin Jabody, the UDFA out of Syracuse, the sack, making the most of it. Ezazio Tomowo continues to make plays. Gabriel Rubio back to his run-stuffing Haas ways. So I really like some of that overall. But I do think this game was peak preseason. It was sloppy. It wasn't great. But we'll see where things go. Cut down day coming up, 6 p.m. That is when the cuts will be due, and we will have 53-man roster officially, and we will talk about that when that happens. All right, folks, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell for more, and thanks for watching.